Ferg from Tainted here. Today I'm kicking off a new segment whereby we'll be going into the insights of the team and what we're preparing for and what's coming up. Also just look back on some of the things that we've been attending and some of the results. We're going to be calling it Coach's Corner, and yeah. So yeah, look. First things first. I'll talk about what's been by and what we've sort of achieved in the last month or so. So obviously the minor was the event that we took out. It was a great event in terms of us revitalising our confidence and knowing where we stand. And obviously after IEM Sydney, Porter and Greyhound were looking pretty hot off their heels. So we had a lot of respect to them for what they accomplished at that particular event, and we knew we really had to turn up if we wanted to take out the minor qualifier. So look, we were pretty fortunate with the way that the draw of seedings occurred.
I just want to say that that was a really good game by both teams, really back and forth, but it's just completely ridiculous how these two teams are playing in a BO1 in the quarterfinals from on up. Sure, Order could have won a best of three, have a good chance of winning a best of three, but it's just ridiculous that Greyhound are going out. Greyhound, who play the best team in the region right now, in the most informed team, are going out in the BO1 in the quarterfinal of a minor qualifier.
You know, Greyhound had to face off against Order in a best of one, which is really shouldn't happen. So, I mean, I don't feel like we've robbed it from anyone. Obviously, you still have to beat everyone to be the best, regardless of the situation. But it is hard done by. It doesn't really establish who the best team is when you're doing a best of one. There's always room for upset. So yeah, look, it was unfortunate for those circumstances, but we still had a really tough Order team to topple. Yeah, look, it was a great match. As usual, they're extremely competitive, and we learned that later on down at the ESL ANZ LAN. But yeah, look, the minor qual was a great feeling. We've been through some rough patches and finally sort of reaped some benefits for all the work that we've been putting in.
And Tainted Minds punched their tickets to the Asia Minor Championships for the Face It Major in London, and that would be the conclusion of the series, a 2-0 series win for Tainted Minds, 16-14, and then a dominant 16-4 on Overclass.
Yeah, and then we roll out into the ESL ANZ LAN. Now this was another funky one. I think a couple of the teams in Order and Greyhound had to forfeit some of their matches during the regular season, which meant that they were in the same group heading into the LAN, and of course it was a round robin best of one. So once again they're really trapped in this best of one fate, whereby, you know, they're stuck with Chiefs and Order, who became a really sort of close group, and of course one of the three teams wasn't going to get sent home packing straight away.
Chiefs have just bested both Order and Greyhound, the top two teams arguably in the country.
I'm at a loss for words. It just feels like anytime Chiefs will put it up against it, they just shan't. Like, Flicks had Dexter's number the entire game. It just felt like everything was going right for Chiefs, and
oh my God,
so many clutch plays from them, so many great individual players, and they've definitely stepped up. I think this is going to send shockwaves through the scene. I don't think anyone could have possibly thought that of this group of death, that Chiefs would be the ones getting through alongside with Order and Greyhounds. That'd be heartbroken from that one.
So unfortunately Greyhound copped it again. I felt like just straight off the bat that kind of ruined it a little bit. I think that they could have you know, reorganised the groups, and regardless of the online season, just to make it a properly competitive LAN. We ended up having a pretty tough time against Corvidae, I think.
But he could be instantly traded.
Spot is even out. Oh, Chris, wow.
Oh, that could have gone either way, Kev.
It could have, but it didn't.
I think we were pretty seamless against the other two teams, including a 16-0. So, look, we were doing alright in groups, but I think we did get a little bit complacent after the minor. Yeah, look, I mean, it's understandable to a degree. We were pretty chuffed about having qualified for the minor. It's a big experience, which I'll keep talking about after this. But yeah, look, the LAN ended up with us playing Order in the semi-final and the following day after groups. We showed up on the first map, and then on the second map we really sort of gave in. I felt we were just really not our regular selves.
Yam's going to be the last one, and Tainted Mind's going to go down 16-2 on Nuke. Order are through to the finals of the ESL, AU, and NZ Season 1 of 2018 finals for Counter-Strike.
But props to Order, who did also play sensationally that day. I think Alistair was also playing out of his mind, so it's always good to see you know, when those new guys find their groove, and I think that's starting to occur with Order, which is great. Yeah, so I think Chiefs ended up taking SOA and ZLAN. We didn't really face them, but yeah, great work from them. I think they came out of the blue for that event. I had a sniff that they would be doing some upsets in groups, but I didn't really expect them to take it out. So yeah, congratulations to them. The following event was the IEM Shanghai qualifier, which was quite promptly after the LAN. We had about a week to sort of semi-prepare, I suppose. Yeah, so we get into the qualifier. We have Chiefs in the upper bracket semi-final. So this is the new outfit that's just taken out the LAN. We knew that they were going to be coming in hard. We knew that they were going to be relentless and a strong team. We faced off up against them on Overpass, and that was their map pick, and we sort of had control of that game most of the way through. We got stalled on a little bit at 15-7, I think it was 15-7, and took 5 or so rounds to close it out. But yeah, we felt really confident coming into map 2, which was our map pick, and I believe it was Nuke. And we just yeah, we just didn't play our game very well. We made a lot of mistakes on some of our strats, which are really key. But I think we also made a lot of mistakes on the CT half where you know, we just weren't adapting as well as we should have been. But yeah, I think you know, props to Chiefs. They really exploited our mistakes, and only good teams can exploit mistakes in that sort of nature. So you know, I wouldn't want them to think that I'm sort of bad mouthing them in any respect in that sense. You know, you can make mistakes and still get away with it against a poorer team or you know, an underperforming team. So. Props to them. They really exploited everything that we did wrong, and they converted those mistakes into big time rounds, and that was the difference in the game. So we lost to them in a 3-map thriller. We drop into the lower bracket. We play off with Legacy, which was a good little revenge match after IEM Sydney qualifiers, that is. We 2-0'd them fairly seamlessly and felt pretty good going into our next match, which was against Order. Once again, with Order, we know that it's going to be a tough matchup. We're never going into it thinking, you know, this is going to be easy. The maps work out in our favour, we think, but yeah, look, unfortunately, they just played really well again. They followed up from the ESL and ZLAN, really hungry to get those W's against us after snubbing them on the minor.
Pushing out, those nades will find it, and there we go. With a nade, the explosion finds the kill. Order win the round, they win the match. They will be going forwards to face off Chiefs in the consolidation final. So
yeah, they were hungry, and yeah, look, we were still on that same energy that we were at ANZ LAN, the ESL ANZ LAN, and unfortunately that's not good enough. So yeah, look, it's unfortunate. We've sort of bombed out a couple of quals/LANs since our minor qualifier, but it's to be expected at the same time. The current state of Australian Counter-Strike is honestly phenomenal. It's the best I've ever seen in in forever, to be honest. 4 teams being so competitive and really being on the cusp of also, you know, probably beating tier 2 teams at the very least quite consistently in Europe and NA, and then really knocking on the door of tier 1. So it's a really great time to be in the scene. All the teams are really hungry. Everyone's doing the next best thing that they can to be better than their rival and their competitors. So yeah, look, it's a great time to be in Australia and in the scene, but it does make it really tough for these qualifiers when there's only one spot. It makes it, you know, all the work much more harder, and you really have to change your game plan quite a lot to not sort of resemble what you did the last time against them, which makes things really tricky on everyone. So some of the things that are going on at the moment, there's the ESEA league, which we're doing quite well in. We're unfortunately going to have to look at forfeiting some matches into the end of the season, as we just had the boot camp for the minor that's come up, which I'll talk about shortly. So yeah, look, ESEA is going well. We've got Sea Dogs up tonight, and I think we're feeling pretty confident about taking that out. It should slot us into the top 8 quite comfortably, and when we get back from Europe, we'll be playing the playoffs for that one. People also might be questioning why we're not playing CG at the moment, purely because the minor conflicted with the CG finals, so we're not snubbing CG by any means. We were pretty interested in looking to go and play their league this season, but yeah, unfortunately the schedule wouldn't allow for it. So wish all the best to the teams competing in that one, and it looks like the grand final should be pretty decent. So what we've got coming up, so it's pretty exciting. We've got our boot camp, which we'll be doing at the Tainted Gaming House in Poland. We're flying out on Monday, and we'll be arriving on the Tuesday, and yeah, setting ourselves up to get started straight away on the Wednesday. We're looking forward to it. This is sort of one of those things that everyone just dreams of when you're playing competitive in Australia and you reach a level whereby you want to break into the next one. It's definitely a stepping stone. I've experienced it myself when I've played in Australia and brought a team to boot camp in Europe and showed them the way of how that can really improve you as a team, and we ended up getting some great results out of it. So look, I'm scrambling to make sure we prepare as best we can for this minor. So the schedule is sort of getting loaded up with scrims and everything, and we've got a great environment to do it all in. So yeah, I'm not sure if anyone knows about the Tainted Gaming House, but it's essentially a gaming house that is literally an entire apartment. So you sleep there, you play there, you cook there, you do everything there. So yeah, it's a really good environment to sort of prepare for a really big competition. And as you guys know, the minor's coming up, and that's what it's all in lead up to. So the minor's taking place in London. We'll be doing 10 days in Poland, and then we're flying back to London to complete the minor. The minor setup, I can't say too much about it, but it looks awesome. It's going to be the best I think that's ever been by. I'm just gathering through, not that I've attended every minor, but just gathering through what people have said about past ones. So yeah, definitely tune in and follow us on our journey. I think we've got a really good chance at taking out this minor, if not taking it out in qualifying. Even though Tyloo and Renegades are in pretty good form at the moment, I don't think we're very far behind them. We showed that when we played Tyloo at the DreamHack Masters qualifier in Perth, and we'll definitely be showing that going into the minor that we've still got that potency to really break through. Following the minor, we've got our DreamHack Masters Stockholm qualifier. The team's going to be travelling to Malaysia for that one. It's going to be a quick stop, just as we have to finish, I think, 3 days of competition, and we thought that Malaysia would be possibly a little bit more beneficial just because of the way that the fibre optics cable between Singapore and Perth has been acting up lately. There's a lot of problems with it, and you can't really rely on that. It would completely ruin things, and Perth is also very expensive to sort of fly a whole team out over to. So we really don't want to fall into that trap, potentially, so we're taking the safe route, and we'll be going to Malaysia. I'll give you guys a bit more of an update as we get closer to that one, and let you know how everything's travelling while we're over in Europe. Thanks for tuning in.